We're live. We're on. We're up.
We're on.
No, we're waiting for Jeff. Thanks tuning in for another engine room. I'm here at the moment with Dave over there, Saul down there, and we're just waiting for Jeff to see if he can get back on. We kicked him out. We've had a few technical hitches this evening because we're all at various points around the country, and Jeff was on a minute ago and then he got kicked off. But anyway, we'll hopefully he's going to keep trying, and when he pops up, I'll add him in. I'll add him in. Hopefully, everybody, that it's going to go live, and I presume Louise will let us know if she can't get on it.
Yes.
Yeah. Has she said you anything?
I've just sent that we're live, so we'll see if she can get on.
Someone's watching. I've just seen a number 1 flash up in the corner, so I don't know where. And the thing is, we'll keep an eye out for Jeff anyway because he's got some. He's been trying to do batteries, so we'll have a. I'll keep my eye out for Jeff and see what happens.
Yeah.
But we'll carry on regardless and all that.
As the song goes,
as they say. So obviously, Dave. We'll go to Dave first. Dave's not in his boat; he's in his van, and he's very hot. So we're going to try and keep it as not as short, but not too. We won't drag it out for you. Oh, here we go. Look, hello, good to see you all. Yeah, thanks, Louise. Yeah. I told you. We put his t-shirt on, Louise, just for you. What she says. Yeah.
Right.
What are you up to, mate?
If I'm first, I'm up first. It's been quite an interesting month this month. We've had a great trip into Liverpool, spent a week in Liverpool. Our plans to come up and see Saul on the Lancaster have sadly died a death.
Yeah, I saw that. That's a bit. Couldn't do the Ribble Link, which was a bit of a shame.
Yeah, well, we could do it. We could get up onto the Lancaster, but we couldn't get back out till April next year.
Why? What's that?
They shot the link over Christmas, over winter. It will get shot.
Really? Yeah,
we were going to go with Dave on his boat across the link.
Yeah, we've got it all planned out, haven't we?
For a bit of a trip out, and then he said you can come, but you won't be able to go home till April. I've got things to do.
Yeah, so we were a bit disappointed with that. We thought we'd sort of like do Ribble Link mid-September, come out mid-October, but obviously I think it shuts the beginning of October, so unfortunately that plan, amongst others, has gone pear-shaped. But yeah, we've had a fairly uneventful trip into Liverpool and back out again. The only problem,
Dave, I don't think it was that. I saw your pictures, and you were at lots of pubs.
Oh yes, yes, we've frequented quite a few pubs. It were nice to do touristy things, away from boat. It were different. I enjoyed it. It was a lot better than I thought it was going to be in Liverpool. A lot more touristy. Really enjoyed it. I recommend anybody to go. A week's free mooring in Salthouse Stocks with free electricity hook up. Can't fault it. The only thing, I've got a few jobs on boat, but I told you a couple of chats ago I were having a problem with our central heating boiler. It had sprung a leak. Well, I've sorted that leak, but it sprung another.
How's it?
Yeah. So I think I'm just going to... I can't find where it's leaking from, but it's definitely leaking.
Is it?
So it's one of these old comfort boilers, the tall, narrow, thin ones.
Yeah.
and you can't get parts from for love nor money. I searched the net. I remember from when I fitted it, there was a guy down Norfolk area, I think he is, and he specialised in repairing these boilers, these types of boilers. So I eventually found his website, and he does, or he used to do, recondition. So you give him your old misfiring boiler, and he'd exchange it for a reconditioned one. So I thought that'd be ideal. Read into it, and because Ald don't do any more parts for it, he were the sole person that held parts for that boiler, and he's run out of parts for him, so he stopped that service. So it looks like a new central heating boiler.
Oh right, okay, so that's cool. Is it up? Is it up in it that it's leaking? Actually, somewhere in it.
I think there's a long cylindrical water tank that sits on top of a burner that eats up, and then it's distributed through the system with a pump.
Right.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to starting next weekend, I'm going to strip the boiler out completely, dismantle it, and see if I can get one of these. Well, when I get it apart, hopefully, if it's just a cylinder with two outlets on it, I'm hoping I can get one fabricated and then put it back together and try and get a few more years out of it. Because the new boilers are completely different.
Are they?
Completely different shape, size, and output. So where our boiler is, I've built everything around the boat, around that boiler. So I haven't really got room without shifting washing machine and shower and everything to get this new boiler in. So I'm hoping with a bit of ingenuity and a bit of fabrication know-how, I'm going to be able to get a new tank fabricated for it and re-put in.
Yeah. By the way, Jeff's watching, but he can't get on. Jeff's actually watching the video, but he can't get on. But I know I'll cover a bit of Jeff's stuff because I helped him with some of it. So I'll run through with what we did with Jeff's boat for him and speak to him afterwards. I don't know what happened there. He was here, but he's gone. So yeah, we'll do that. We'll cover him. And hi, Trev's travel by narrowboat. So yeah, we'll catch up with Jeff in a minute. But yeah, so hopefully you can get that part. Is it a rare one then you've got?
No, I think they were really popular back in sort of like 10, 15 years ago. They were really popular boilers, but I think when we bought it, it must have been coming to end of when they were making them, and they discontinued them, and then they've just discontinued doing parts for them as well. So
pain in the bum, isn't it?
Pain in the bum is the correct term.
Yeah, pleasant term. Well, slightly pleasant term. So yeah. So yeah, it'd be interesting to know what happens to that, whether you can get it fixed, because we used to have in our old boat, we had a Pomola one.
Yeah.
And that was quite, and I think they were getting harder to get bits for, but there was plenty of bits around for them because there's so many of them out there. So I presume it's the same principle. Tank.
Well, the problem is with these is they balance flows, so they take the air from outside and emit the gases outside. It's a bit like an household boiler,
right?
But obviously on a smaller scale. And like the Paloma water heaters, they haven't got a balanced flow, and you can't put one of those on a new build boat. If you've got an older boat with one of them in,
You can
you
change
can replace like for like. But when I was building boat, you couldn't actually put one of them in because it isn't a balanced flow.
Right, so it's old technology basically.
So it's you're stuck between a rock and a hard place.
Demorco not do anything that would fit, or is it just too different?
Uh, there's lots of different systems, but they either, I think Old and another company are the only ones that run off LPG.
Right.
The others are diesel fired or whatever, and that means sort of like a whole different kettle of fish.
Yeah. So you need to keep it fixed, mate, basically.
Yeah. Yes.
Someone's got to be able to fix it.
So I don't know if anybody watching has any ideas or can come up with anything.
What make is it?
It's an ALD, ALDE.
An Eld, right? They still about? Are they still?
Yeah, they're the ones that do the new boilers. They're sort of like quite popular in caravans, motorhomes, and boats. They do LPG boilers,
but just different, just completely different.
Yeah, it's just completely different setup.
Right.
No doubt I'd be able to put it in, but you know, you're talking $2,000 just to buy a boiler.
Really? Yeah.
So it's not loose change. Do you know what I mean?
No, not if it's fixable. If it's just a small hole, it's got to be on a joint, and it's got to be on a seal or something.
Yeah.
It's got to be something fixable.
I'm sure if I can take it apart, I'm sure I can get something made
to fit whatever
that'll fit. It's just
the function of the thing works. The function of the flame drive, it's just leaking.
Yeah, the boiler, the burner works, comes on. The pump that circulates the water is fine. I think it's just this holding tank. It's just rotted from inside out. Right. Even though it's got antifreeze in, it's 50% water, 50% antifreeze. The mixture, the stuff that you have to use in it.
Right.
But it's just rot. It's just rotten.
Right.
So, and I've got other jobs to do on boat. I've got little bits and pieces, but nothing major. That's the one big problem that I've got at the moment.
Yeah, especially as we're coming into winter as well.
Yeah.
So you need to get that sorted out.
Yeah, I've got a month to do it.
Yeah, basically, I think it's going to be. Anyway, Louise said on the thing, she said there was loads of jobs to do on the boat. That was a comment.
Yes, I've got loads of jobs, but they're little bits and pieces. Finishing trims off.
Dave doesn't want to take the boat apart again.
Yeah, which I've done several times. But if I can get away with repairing this boiler, and then therefore not having to move shower, washing machine, and all plumbing and everything that goes with it, I'd rather do that and save myself $2,000 on a new boiler.
Yeah. There's got to be a tank out there somewhere, isn't there?
Yeah. Another question, which is bugging myself and Louise, our window surrounds. What have people done with their window surrounds? Because I've done them several different ways, and I'm not happy with any of them. And I've just had a quote at £1,000 for 5 window surrounds. You know, internal trims.
Internal
trims, yeah.
Are they round ones?
No, they're 4 foot by 2 foot. Yeah, 4 foot by 2 foot window frames, but they've got a 4-inch radius in each corner. So I can do the flats, but it's getting the trims to match the corners. I've tried doing them out of metal, and it's a nightmare.
You know what ours are like? Ours are obviously the same, and so we've got our window inside. I'm not in the boat, so I'll show you. But basically, we've got square windows, and obviously the bottom of the window's curved.
Yeah,
like yours do, and ours have got cut off corners in the corner of wood.
right.
So basically, you don't see the corner of our window because there's a triangle of wood, so big in each corner.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you wanted it to curve, I suppose what you could do is use a hole saw, cut a piece of wood, and then just cut it in half, and you've got two corners, then, haven't you, that curve?
Yeah, that's an idea. Yeah.
Yeah, if you do it out of timber, it'll look pretty smart, that.
Yeah. I was gonna, because I always thought, I mean, ours are quite small. I don't know if they're that big. The corners of our windows is not, and it covers it perfectly, so you don't really see. But I thought about curving it in to make it sort of, but they were there already and they fit, and they, so I just, they do the job. I must admit, they are one of the things that when you take them off, you can see where they do get damp behind there, and that is where you get some condensation. So if they're not treated right, they do tend to go a bit black.
Yeah.
But
I never thought of that, Saul. That's a good idea, that.
Yeah, you can make them whatever size you want then.
Yeah.
Smaller, bigger, whatever you need.
Yeah, and just match them in and they fill the hole and look good. There you go.
Yeah.
Well done, Saul.
Sorted. That's I've just got to get a really big hole saw though now.
Yeah. I don't know, how big do they go?
I don't know.
Pretty big. I got a 4-inch one for soil pipes.
Have you?
Yeah.
I think I might have got one about that size, because I bought one for the ceiling panels, putting the downlighters in.
Yeah, that'd do. Yeah.
I wonder where that is.
Test it on a bit of ply first.
Louise, go and have a look for Dave's saw.
I wish I could come down and see. I'm mad busy at work at the minute. It's gone crazy.
I said Louise could go and have a look for Dave's saw. Yeah, you're really busy at work, so.
Well, it's insane at the minute. Yeah. Well, I've got a big job that I've got to get done, so I need the pennies.
Yeah. So, Dave, you got anything? Was there anything else, or was that your lot really?
No, they're my two big projects. The rest of them are just little bits of trim inside it, but
I think the boiler's the biggest one. It's got
boiler's biggest one.
Yeah.
So I think I'll leave it at that. I think my mind's bottled with them two at the moment.
Yeah.
Is it? Yeah, I bet. Yeah, I bet it is. So, all right, and Dave. Well, thanks for that. You've got your idea for your window corners now, and excellent. And we'll shoot down to Saul, find out what he's been up to. I believe what had you done your head last time? Have you done any more?
Not since then. No, we've taken the boat out on a good old trip. We got all the way to the top of the Lanky to Whitfield Locks.
Did you?
Bank holiday weekend.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah.
But I found, I had to have a dip in the canal to clear me prop. It had a plastic bag wrapped around it.
Oh, okay.
So I tried to get the weed hatch out, and I was under the back deck, but you don't have access from the back deck. You have to climb in through the engine room. Well, it's never been moved in years, so I was hammering it with a lump hammer, and it never budged.
What, the weed hatch?
Yeah, it wouldn't budge at all. So I had to get in the canal and do it from back at the boat.
Did you? You had to get in the canal?
In the canal, yeah. And the missus videoed it. So the second time I've had a dip in the canal.
Yeah. Shit, I didn't realise that. Was it rusted? Do you think? Is it rusted together?
I think it's just stuck. The seal looks really good, and I think it's just glued itself together. So it's a job for. I'm going to have to put an access hatch on the back deck, I think. So
Yeah.
it's going to have to be done, because you just can't get in.
You're a cruiser deck.
No, just we're
Right.
trad stern, so.
Right. So, but you can't easily get to a weed. You haven't got to lift up.
No, it's all inside. So,
Yeah,
we were going to leave it, but I can't get at it. So.
Yeah, well, on the back of ours, we've got a cut out hinged, and Jeff's got the same actually, and it just lifts up, and we get access to the batteries there, and our batteries are under there, and right over the back of the batteries is the weed hatch.
Yeah.
But so when was it last blacked?
It was last year.
Well, they normally take them out and really do round the weed hatch, don't they? Normally, did you do it, or did you get someone?
No,
to do
they did it. No, it was done. Yeah. It's just maybe it's got glued together, but bloody hell, it didn't budge. But I can't get in there, and of course, this stupid finger, I've no grip yet, so I was hammering away, and then I lost my temper, and now retrieved me lump hammer.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a nightmare, though, isn't it? That is the thing. You don't want to lose too much of your temper, because if you'd have done any damage to it, and then you're really buggered.
Yeah, that's it. So I give up after that.
Yeah,
you
can't get a
the
seal.
plunge. That soon cheered me up. That.
And
then we went up to Whitfield Locks, had a nice weekend, and then we pulled back. But the whole of the canal was very low. I mean, we were dragging the bottom in several places. I was getting clogged up with weeds and things like that. And there's a bit of a shortage on the Lanky.
Is there?
Yeah, because we came back on the Monday, went towards Carnforth, which is 5 or 6 miles away, and then I moved again up to a place called Bolton Sands, and I got into the side, but I'm sticking out a good 6 foot out at the back end because I just reached, and I'm stuck now. I can't. The levels dropped again. If it gets any lower, I might just black the boat.
Really? Is the boat there still?
Well, I had to jump onto the side of the boat, and as I landed, the sole of my boot split. So I slid straight into the canal, and I thought, I'm going under here. And it wasn't even up to my knees.
Really?
Yeah. It's so low. They've shut the glass and branch, the whole thing, and ashed all the locks up to stop it leaking out.
Right.
And,
so that is low, isn't it? That is bloody low. So
it is very low.
Probably best we didn't come up then, because we're quite deep drafted.
Yeah.
So we have trouble at best of times.
Yeah, it's really low. I mean, apparently there's a shortage of water right at the top, so they're having to slowly dribble water in. But we're due rain like later on this week, so maybe that'll give us an inch or two.
Is your boat still up there?
Yeah, well, we're at Bolton Sands, but I'm beached. I can't move it till I get some water under it, because it's just that shit. I mean, it's dropped since we landed there, so I'm going to have to wait. Just wait, hold tight, and
I'm just going to say hello to Dawn and Dale. They've just said hello on the side there. They're friends with Jeff. Jeff's not here because he kicked out and he couldn't get back on. So he's watching. He's watching, so he can message, but he can't. He's not in the chat. But I'm going to cover.
Missing me.
Yeah, he said that on there. He said, "Are we missing him?" Yeah, I don't know what happened. I don't know why he can't get back in, but it was a shame. So it was a shame. And what else? There was something else here as well. Just while we're on, there was somebody else. Oh, hang on. So it's Mrs. W's computer. I don't. She's buggered off out. Just have a quick look up here before we Pocket Change. Excellent chat content. Thank you very much, Pocket Change. So that's cool. So you've done that. So you're beached at the moment, and the engine's doing all right.
When I'm putting if I put serious revs on, I'm still getting blue smoke coming out. And the oil pressure is good when it's cold. Well, once it's warm, gets to like 80, 85, it's back down under 20 again.
To be honest with you, mate, mine doesn't.
Yeah.
Mine doesn't make
it's
that.
When you give it beans, there's just clouds of smoke, and I'm like, so I've got to talk to an engineer, really.
I do get a bit of smoke as well when I give it. Honestly, ask Lisa. She goes mad at me when I'm in the lock because we went out a couple of weekends ago. Went down the Wendover Arm, and when I come into a lock, obviously I do because we fit the lock completely. So I give it reverse thrust so I don't bang into the gates. And we've been getting a bit of smoke. I'm tempted. I'll get onto it, but I'm tempted to get a new set of injectors, to be honest with you, because I had them refurbed. And the bloke said to me when he refurbed them, he said that they weren't letting much fuel through. So I think he's jetted them, like put bigger jets in, and I think it's too much. I think it's putting some diesel in the system. I'm hoping that's what it is, but it seems to do it more when it's old oil as well.
Yeah, I mean, now as he's gradually going away every time I take it out, I lose, maybe about 5 mil out of me on my dipstick. It drops down every time I use it, so I keep topping it up. I know it's burning oil. I can see it's
I'm not using any oil at all. We went out for like a whole week and I didn't change, so I'm definitely not burning oil.
Yeah, well, we think that the cylinder 2 and 3, the rings might be knackered on there. They're all right when it's cold, but once it's warm, so I've got to dig deep. I think I want to go over the Ribble Link next year. You see, so
yeah, you're gonna have another crack at it.
Yeah, and I don't want to spend the night on the side this time.
No. Or in Preston Docks.
Yeah, Preston Docks. Yeah. Oh, it's a nice dock. I don't want to spend the time there.
No.
But yeah, so that's that one. And then I've started rubbing down the roof, prepping it for painting. Really, it's had that many coats of paint over the years. It's some places it can just scrape off with a scraper, and other places it's welded on. So I'm going to rub it all down, just give it a coat of, try and clean it up for winter. And then I might have to just think about getting it properly stripped off next year,
Yeah. What, do it yourself or get it done?
Yeah, I'll probably do it myself.
Yeah. We had a quote for repainting Nutshell, and I must admit it was a bit scary.
Well, yours is 70 foot, isn't it?
A back to metal, windows out quote, mushrooms off, everything off. Quote. Yeah, it was. It weren't cheap. Put it that way.
No.
So I really
was that just normal paint, Glenn, or two-pike?
It was. Oh, good question. It was for the. It's depending on how many colours. We went for 4 colours. They priced it on 2 colours and 4 colours. And it's proper narrowboat paint. So I don't know what it would be. I presume it would be whatever they use. He showed me his own boat that he'd done, and it was Baxter's and it was a reasonable quote as opposed to, and that was back to metal quote, not just. So, taking it off, taking all the windows out, and we've got 14 windows. So it's 14 windows and sorting out the hatches and that. But it was still, I think by the time we finished, I think we weren't going to get much change out, about 14 grand.
Yeah, sounds about right. Yeah.
Yeah. So I know that's exactly what I said. I think it started about 12. But by the time he's done a few bits and jobs and that, because I want some work done on the the hatches. There's something wrong with the hatches. They've not been where they've been put in. They need to have a ledge put in, welded in, so that the rain runs down and out rather than down and in. What they've done is, rather than, they've cut the hole out, literally cut the hole out, and then put the wood behind it, and then put the hatch on top of it. So when you look at the hatch, when you open it, it's the same thickness as the doors, and the wood's just behind it. So if the water runs down and through, it's sealed. I mean, I've got sealant on loads of it. You just can't seal it. Water just gets in. It just gets in. So what I want done is at the bottom, where it comes through, rather than having it square, that there's a plate welded in, there's a ledge. So when the rain comes down, it runs out.
Yeah.
Yeah, rather than, because at the moment you've got that sort of, your boat naturally goes that way with the ledge, so it naturally wants to come in. I want it to naturally come out.
Can you put a weather bar on front?
Yeah, so there was a bit of fabrication work and stuff to be done as well, but it is a lot. I mean, I've painted the roof 3 times. I've only ever done half of our roof. I've done it 3 times, and I keep having to do the first half that I started off with first, because I don't do it in one go. And then by the next year, it looks as bad as it did the year before. So, and we've got that stupid anti-slip stuff on, and he was going to take that off as well. That was including taking that off, the anti-slip stuff, because it's cream the top of our boat. I don't know about your Saul, but it's cream, and it just the dirt just gets trapped in that stuff. So you instantly get a black stripe all the way down the boat.
Yeah.
And you have to jet wash it or really scrub it to get it out.
Yeah. Well, we see. I was going to put that anti-slip stuff on, but I'm kind of in 2 minds now. I'm going for like a satin finish on the roof in like a burgundy colour.
Yeah.
Because I've got this sort of grey stuff on. I'm not even sure what type of paint it is, but I think it was just normal house paint, and it's just not done well. I think it's reacted with what was underneath it, so it's flaking and peeling in bits, and she just needs a bit of a clean up.
A couple of people that I know are actually trying to get that anti-slip stuff off the boats for the same reason that you said, Glenn, that it's not really anti-slip and it just holds dirt.
Yeah,
it's rubbish. But that's a task in itself, because that's all got to be grinded back, I think, back down to metal to get that off. And also in the channel of our roof all the way down, in the gutter, let's call it the gutter, that over the years has rusted in along there, so it's not a nice smooth channel anymore. It's like a waterfall, really. It's like I've tried sanding it down by hand, and it just don't get it all out properly. It really needs all coming off, really. I mean, look, overall, you look at it, if you that's not too bad, but when you look at it, you think, that's rubbish. So he's a bit I don't know. We'll see. It would be nice to have a new paint job, but then it's like anything, innit? You can just keep going, and then at the moment it's probably a good investment because the boats are worth so much money.
Yeah.
So,
have you seen what Jeff said there? Don't top it up; it'll find its own level. If I don't top it up, the level gets ever decreasing.
Yeah.
Not now left.
But I think Jeff's obviously was a diesel. He's a diesel fitter, truck fitter. So obviously, I think sometimes does it just disappear off the end of the stick eventually?
Yeah, it just empties itself out. Yeah.
Does it completely goes?
Yeah.
You'd end up.
Depends how hard I push it as well. The more I push it, the more smoke I've coming out of the side. You see, and the more oil I'm using by the looks of things. So
it's just burning oil, innit?
Yeah,
ever so slightly. And what used to happen was when the diesel pump was leaking, the injection pump was leaking that much, it was topping up the sump.
Yeah, so, that's not good though.
No.
Yeah. I spoke to someone the other day that had an engine run away on her.
Yeah, I'm using
underneath,
and hers 2050 oil as well.
It was what?
I'm using the 2050 oil, the classic car one.
The old thick stuff.
Yeah, I had the SAE30 as well. I used that for a bit. Same thing. I'm having the same issue. It's just slowly leaking away. Just burning away.
If your bores are glazed, does that cause the same issue? Jeff said try a different oil, but if you've tried it, you've tried it. Yeah. You can buy the stuff that thickens it up. I don't know if it would help, but it might get you a little bit more time.
Yeah.
I'll send you the link.
Yeah, I've tried some of that. Yeah, I'm going to add that in the next one. It's in a little bottle thing, and it
was
just
the stuff they recommend on. I had stuff in my BMC 1.5 in our old boat, and it made a massive difference.
Yeah, I can't remember the name of it, but I'll have to dig it out.
Yeah, I'll dig it out, and if not, I'll send you the link to the stuff that I had. I know it's not an answer.
No,
it might delay the inevitable for another 12 months.
Well, you know, I mean, I'm doing this big job, so hopefully that'll pay for it.
Yeah, well, the thing is, if you can chuck some of that in, it's not going to do any harm, is it? You might as well.
No.
It thickens it up. It does thicken it up. It's like a grey, gloopy stuff, and it relines the bores.
Right. Yeah,
And
it's cold soda.
Cold soda.
It's what?
Just put it's called sawdust.
Yeah.
No, yeah. Do you know what? I had a Mercedes car once that really smoked, and I used it in that as well, and it made a difference to that. But it's the same old story. Once you start using it, you're committed. Because if you then put normal oil in it, all of a sudden you've got smoke.
And the thing is that Ed's just been done, so I was talking to a chap, and he said if you get it out early, he could reuse the head gasket.
Oh, really?
I've only done about 20 hours
since
of cruising, so
yeah.
If you're going down that road of taking engine out and having a reconditioned bottom end, I wouldn't risk not putting another egg gasket on it for 20 or 30 quid. It's not worth the risk of reusing an egg gasket.
Yeah, I'd definitely just bite that bullet if I was going that deep into that down. At least you know it's done.
Yeah.
Because that would be
it's going to be an expensive job because I got to clean all the bilge out and repaint all that.
Might as well do that when the engine's out.
You know when you had
out as well while you're there.
You know when you had head off, Saul.
Yeah.
Did you have a feel in pots, see if there were any wear in cylinders?
Yeah, and they seemed fine. You know, it was like there was nothing out of no scoring or anything like that. They weren't super shiny. They didn't feel greasy or anything like that. We give them a bit of a wipe round and a clean out. We noticed because my lad put some WD-40 in to loosen up some of the coat that was on top of the piston, and we noticed that 2 and 3 it leaked straight out.
You see what Jeff said? Last comment.
Never reuse the head gasket. Yeah, they did put new valve seals in.
Is it? And he said he did put new seals in, valve seals and that.
Yeah, and guides as well.
Yeah, and he'll say Jeff was a diesel fitter, so if anyone knows about diesel engines, it'll be Jeff. So don't risk that. Don't risk that. It's not worth it. But yeah. So is that what? So you're so busy at work. That's you done, is it? Pretty much. You're just
that's
waiting.
Pretty much it. Yeah, I've rubbed down about half the roof.
Oh, yeah. It's hard work, mate. It's hard work.
That was a question I needed to ask you, Glenn. What did you use on your chimney? Because I stripped mine off and I haven't got any sealant stuff. So I just had to silicone it up because we're not using fire at the minute anyway. But I just need to seal around the actual
top or bottom?
Top. Because it was leaking in through there.
I think it was because that's where I got water coming through. And I think it was was it plumber's flue? I've got it still on the boat. I'll take a picture of it, but it was some flue sealant. It was a flue sealant that was heat resistant black.
Yeah.
I did it on the video, and to be honest with you, touch wood. There's we haven't had any real heavy rain, but it was pouring down the back of the and it had a cap on it, so I knew it wasn't coming in through the top.
Yeah, I was just saying,
yeah. So there was.
You can get it from Screwfix, Saul. Right. High temperature sealant, and it's black.
Flue sealant or something. They called it flue sealant, I think it's called.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's black and it's black. It's what it's just like goes in a gun. Just like a gun, and this stuff is blue. I'll when I get back, I'll take a picture of the tube. I'm back next Saturday, and I'll send you the picture of it. And that's what I use. And then, as I say, I presume it's worked. I mean, I did wash the roof as well after that, and it didn't leak. So I presume that's sorted that out. But yeah, I thought just Trev just put plumber's flue seal black, great stuff. What's that? You should have used Glaze Buster.
Never even heard of that.
On the bores. You should have used glaze buster, or they glaze over, don't they, when they're old?
Yeah,
Sometimes on the boards. What you meant to? I presume. I wonder if it's some sort of not adhesive.
It's like an acid. It takes coating off at boars.
Does it?
Yeah, it's sort of like, yeah, it just takes what they call the glazing. It takes that off.
Does that cause leaking as well then?
Yeah, it doesn't help if you've got leaky piston rings. It'll not make it any better. It'll make it slightly worse. But I mean, I used in old engines, when I were messing about with engines, I used to use a Teflon additive that you put in oil that coated all your bearings and your pistons and your cylinders and a lot, and it put a Teflon wear coating on it, only probably a few microns.
Yeah.
And it sort of like made your engine frictionless.
Right.
And you can more or less run your engine without any oil in it. It reduced the friction on the engine that much. It was great stuff, but it were only any use on if you'd redone your engine, had it rebored, put like a new engine,
like a rebuild.
It protected it, but it wouldn't help in like Saul's position. It wouldn't create any thickness to reduce wear. But that might be something to look at, Saul.
Yeah.
When you have it done.
It's a tool that goes on your drill, Jeff said.
Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah, it's like a disc type, flat disc thing. Yeah.
You've seen what Louisa said, Dave?
Yes.
Yeah. Put the light on. Blinded another light. He's trying to cool down, not create any more heat in there.
Just a bit of glare.
Yeah. So try the other stuff. You got nothing. I don't think you got anything to lose.
No, we'll see what happens. I'm definitely going to put a new gasket on now. I think that's seems a consensus. So we'll do that.
Yeah, it's not worth it. It's for what it is. It's not, and they're not dear. I don't think on those. It's BMC, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think they're dear, particularly on those. So, So that's you about done, is it?
It's me done. Yeah. Sorry to keep going on.
Oh yeah, I'll go. I'll do me, and then I'll do Jeff's batteries because I helped him do them. So we went. I haven't done any work on the boat apart from seal. I put the new rope on the fire and I swept the chimney because I thought we are getting near. And I noticed when me and Lisa came back from the Wendover Arm and we came along the GU past there was about 4 or 5 people already having their fires on at night. I don't think they need them this weekend, but there was a few, and our rope was proper knackered. It was gone on the corners and whatnot. But so I just bought a new. I must admit, have you ever done the roping on the fire? You have. How did you find it?
Bloody awful. It was so fiddly. Yeah, no, it wouldn't stick in places. It drove me insane. I had to redo it all over again.
Did you? Well, I had the stuff, and when it first came out, it was quite watery. And then I thought, nothing's going to stick to that. And then it sort of thickened up, so I went over it again, and I took the door off so that it was flat.
Yeah.
Rather than trying to stick it upwards, and it seems going, but did I have a job shutting the door for the first time? You know what I mean? Because it says after 15 minutes. No, yeah, it says leave to dry for 15 minutes before you shut the door, and then shut the door, and then it says the heat will help set it.
Yeah.
So let's go with that. Find that. Hang on. I know someone's messaging on the side. I'm just going to decline it. Hang on. Oh, it's gone. Right. Yeah. So I did that. I did that yesterday or day before. ready for the winter onslaught. There was loads of jobs I wanted to do on the boat, and I didn't get any of them done, to be honest with you. It was like I've got to redo the floor in the kitchen because I put that Leclerc flooring in.
Yeah.
And because our floor's got so many joins, because you still need to have access to the hydraulic bow thruster pipes, in the gaps, it's just where it's uneven, even with the underlay under it, it's cracked it. No. So I've got to take it up. I've put a mat over it at the moment just to hide it so I don't have to look at it. But it just there's probably about 6-7 pieces of wood in our kitchen underneath the floor that all come up. You can take the whole floor up in minutes.
Yeah.
But it's just too many joins, so I'm gonna have to go. I think I might have to go back to lino or something in the kitchen. I might just put it straight on top of the flooring just to give it a bit more support. I don't know. Annoying because it weren't that stuff's not bloody cheap either, but it's got to be done.
Was that already down when you got the boat, like?
Yeah, when we got the boat, it had laminate flooring, wooden laminate flooring, and that was all over the place. It was proper. It was proper crap. It was all like it had basically the same issue. They kept getting gaps in it where it was sliding backwards and forwards, and then it got a gap right down the middle where it was splitting. So yeah, it's I've either got to buy. The thing is, I can't cover it over completely because you do need to. I mean, I've never had to touch wood again. I've never had to have access to that pipe. But if I had, you can Todd's law. If I put a top sheet over all the bits of wood and put a nice new floor down over the whole thing, I'll have to get to that hydraulic pipe.
Yeah.
Which runs the whole point of it. The boat's the same all the way through. The floor lifts all the way through the boat. We've just taken. That's why I put carpet tiles down in the living room in the back bedroom, because it was just easier to lift the carpet tiles than try and take a whole carpet out. So yeah. What's that? I'm just reading some of the comments. We'll come back to that. Yeah, we'll come back to that in a minute.
Yeah, bright light.
Oh, yeah, look at that bright light. So yeah, that's all I've done. Really, we want to say we went down the Wendover Arm, which was great. Really enjoyed it. Jeff recommended the Wendover Arm, and it was really nice. Very tight in a 70-foot boat though. Very tight. But I couldn't make the turn at the top in one go. I had to make a bit of a back and forth. And hang on a minute. Yeah. So I couldn't make the turn, and you go past Haygate's Mill halfway down the bottom, and it's a real tight, and it's got a ledge on it. So you have to be really careful. And then when we got to the bottom, it's massive. You turn around, no problem at all. Moored up for the night. And again, that's quite narrow. But when we were going down there, a bloke came along on his bike. He goes, "Oh, are you 70 foot?" I went, Yeah. He goes, "Oh, let us know." He said, "You get down here all right?" I said, "Yeah, it's a bit tight." He goes, "Oh, I'm going to bring mine down tomorrow." And we were leaving tomorrow. So the last thing I wanted to come across coming down was a 70-foot boat coming the other way. So we got up really early the next morning and got out of there. It's only about a mile, 2 miles long, and there's no locks in it. But it was only reopened in 2004, and it's only a part of it. The rest of it's not been regenerated yet. I presume they're just trying to get the money to. Anyway, so we did that, and that was a good laugh. I'll definitely do that again. Perhaps not in our boat, but we'll. It was a good trip out for a weekend. We were out 4 days, so it was nice. But no, we've had no other problems. The engine room was fine, apart from being a bit smoky now and then. It was all good. Jeff, on the other hand, we'll go to Jeff. I know he's watching, but we did his batteries. He got Dale, who's watching, gave Jeff some batteries. Now, Jeff's had battery issues for a long time. He really needed to change them. They were coming up. He bought a battery analyzer. I don't know if you've ever seen one of those. We isolated every battery, disconnected it, put an analyzer on it, and it basically, I'm not sure what it does or how it does it, but it tells you whether your battery's good or it needs changing, or it says it either comes up with recharge, good, or change on the settings. And every morning Jeff wakes up and he's got a big solar panel on his boat, and he was waking up to about 10 volts.
Cool.
Yeah, I know, pretty much every morning. So when he leaves his boat, he has to turn everything off. He had five leisure batteries, I think he had in there, 5. So Dale gave him a couple of his old ones, which were the same ampage and everything, but he was just changing his for new ones, and these ones weren't too bad. And we tested all. We took out, there was one dodgy one in his bank. Now, I know you shouldn't put old and new, but we were just delaying the inevitable.
Yeah.
So we thought, if we put old with old, then if he can get another 12 months out of a set of batteries, and then when it's coming out of the water, it'll be black next year. So we thought, when's that done, I'll replace the batteries then, because it's another little job that needs doing then. So we thought, we'll do it for now. We found one dead cell in there, and it. We took that out and we replaced it with one of Dale's, which was a different shape, and the things were round the other way. So it took a bit of fiddling to get it in, but then left it, and his battery was much better. He was waking up every morning to 12 volts. Since then, Jeff's he's regenerated a couple of other Dale's batteries and added them, and it's saying it's all good, but he woke up again this morning to 10.1. So I think he's added one of the batteries that he's added. He's dragging the others down. So he's just playing with batteries at the moment. And he's got his new analyzer, which is quite a funky bit of kit. It seems to go through different settings. You put in what ampere hours it is. What's Jeff saying? 4. You had 4, but you got 6 now. I think he's put another 2 on. So he had 4 originally, and now he put an extra 2 on, and I think it's one of the extra 2 that's dragging the others down. So there is any. So that's about it really. I think Jeff's booked his boat into have it black next year. And I think he broke his cover. He broke a hinge on his cover, so that's got to be welded up as well. So, but yeah, he's getting there. He's getting there. We've had a few I don't know if anyone's been looking at the messages. Have you been looking at the messages, Dave?
Yeah.
I think we've got a few randoms in there, haven't we?
Yes. I think we might have been trolled.
Yeah, he's saying not, but I think so. But let's have a look, see what we. Trev says he wakes up every morning to 10.3 as well. I think you need new batteries as well, Trev. I think that's yeah. How do you block people? Let's have a look. Oh, here we go. There we go. All gone. Deleted and blocked. It was coming up with some random messages on there.
I didn't mention it. I didn't want to feed the troll.
Yeah, no, when you see something at the corner of your eye, and I thought, I read the first few and I thought, what is that person talking about?
Yeah.
And then I realised it was no good. So let's have a look. What's that? Louise says, Glenn, can you make me she's a modifier?
Yeah, you have moderators on.
Oh, right. Yeah. All right, Louise. Yeah. We'll next time we do it, don't worry, I've blocked him this time. We'll get you. I was thinking a modifier. I thought it was some sort of technical challenge. Jeff took the 2 other batteries off as well. Alan's just got back for holiday and he is in Coventry.
I think
no problem.
I think we talked about that last time, didn't we? About Coventry Basin.
Coventry, yeah. He said he said it was fine, so that's good to know. I think it's like anywhere. I think the trouble is when you go to places and someone has a bad experience, they'll soon write about it.
Yeah,
there might have been 200 people that had absolutely no problem at all, but you'll have one person that's had a bad experience and they'll go to the trouble to mention it. So everyone, all of a sudden, it's a bad place to go. So I think, I sort of take stuff like that with a pinch of salt, unless I see hundreds of posts saying don't go. So right, I think we're about done. We've been on nearly an hour. That's a long time for us. We've done a lot. So just so I don't get in trouble this week, I want to thank everybody that's watched and commented. And if we didn't get to your message, I'm sorry. I did try and get to all of them, but thanks for messaging. Thanks for watching, Jeff. We will make sure next time we get you sorted. And Jeff is at his boat this week because he's having his kitchen done in his house. So he's moved onto his boat. So that's might be why he's having a few technical problems, or it might have been the software. But someone kicked him out anyway. But so yeah, I'll just say thanks for everybody. Thanks to Dave, Saul.
Thank you.
And we'll see you next week. No, next month. Next month. Right. See you later, everyone. Thanks a lot. Cheers.
Thanks a lot. All right.
Bye.